Okay, hi there. Welcome to a video focusing on Edexcel Economics Paper 1, some advice for students taking their exam in 2019. So thinking about their paper 1, it's a 2-hour paper. It's worth 35% of the marks. It's out of 100, but they then scale the marks up to 117.5. Each question is set in a context, and of course the key thing is it draws on all the micro topics, themes 1 and theme 3. 3 sections, we'll go through those in a second. Section A, multiple choice and short answers. Section B, data response. Section C, essays. So here are the marks available. Section A has 25 marks, of course 5 marks per question, 5 questions. Section B, 50 marks. Section C, 25 marks, the essay question. The suggested timings are you should spend no more than 25 minutes on Section A. It's really worth practicing those Section A questions to really get the timing right. You don't want to be behind the clock early in the exam. An hour for the data response, essentially mark a minute on that, a little bit above, and then try to leave yourself 30-35 minutes for the essay. Many students don't. They don't leave enough time for the essay, and they really struggle to put together an answer. So data response, the 5-mark questions, I'm going to focus on that today, and also the essay questions. The 5-mark question can be a diagram, oftentimes a calculation or some use of data information, extracting from the figures in support. Always when you're putting the data in the answer, which you have to do, you must use explicit use of the data to get the 5 marks. Always quote the unit of measurement. Is it dollars? Is it euros? Is it an index? Is it in real terms? Is it a percentage of GDP? And crucially, define a key term if it's there, but most importantly, use the data from the extract. 8-mark question. 6 for knowledge application and analysis, 2 for evaluation. The question will often state explicitly you need to make 2 points. Even if it doesn't state that, then please make 2 points. But across this paper, in fact across the entire Edexcel paper, there is never a need for more than 2 points for each question you answer. Those 2 points should come from the data, and they should be explicitly supported with reference to the extracts and or the data. So for each point, develop your point using a chain of reasoning of at least 2 sentences. There's no need for a diagram unless it's explicitly required from the question, but you will need to make an evaluation point. You either make 2 of those, brief ones after each point of analysis, or you can provide 1 evaluation point, but it will need to be more developed, and perhaps evaluating some use of the extract, some data, or some thoughts and some comments. The 10-marker, 6 marks for KAA, 4 marks for evaluation. This is levels of response marking. So to get the top level in KAA and evaluation, 2 distinct points of analysis, identified and developed, chains of reasoning, supported with evidence from the data or from your own knowledge. Use short sentences to form a coherent chain. There's lots of examples of chains of analysis on the Tutor2You YouTube channel. You may include a relevant diagram, particularly if it really helps the analysis. 2 distinct points of evaluation needed. Through the answer, don't leave the evaluation until the end. So 2 KAA, 2 evaluation. Set out each analysis point and evaluation point in a new paragraph. Leave at least 1 line, preferably 2 lines between each paragraph, so the examiner can mark your paragraph cleanly and clearly on the basis of the levels response. 12 marker, again, 8 for KAA, 4 for evaluation, levels of response, 2 distinct points of analysis. Just develop the analysis a little bit more complex, perhaps a little bit, maybe an extra sentence or 2 of development of chain of reasoning. Always advisable to include a diagram as part of your analysis, but remember to explain the outcomes from the diagram. Don't just dump a diagram in there. It's got to be explained and linked in to your analysis. Do not expect the examiner to give you the benefit of the doubt for a diagram that's not explained. They will ignore it. It's not used as part of the answer. 2 distinct points of evaluation, crucially again supported by evidence from the data and or your own knowledge. Then the 15 marker, be amazed how many students don't get to the 15 marker or write a very perfunctory short answer. They run out of time. 9 KAA, 6, evaluation, levels of response. To get the top marks, 2 distinct points of analysis, only 2 needed. You need to really develop your chains of reasoning, 4 sentences of chains of reasoning. Diagram is likely to be used in support of the analysis, pretty much. Explicit reference needs to be made to the context. Could be the industry, could be the economy, obviously micro, could be the industry. 2 distinct points of evaluation, supported with at least 2 stages of reasoning. So you're probably looking at 2 evaluation paragraphs with 2 sentences in each, but again, supported by evidence from the data or your own knowledge. You do not need to include a conclusion, but the evaluation needs to bring some balance, some reasoned argument to your answer, but no need for a separate conclusion on the 15 marker. The essay question, you get a choice obviously of essays. You get a choice of 2, 16 for KAA, 9 for evaluation, 2 distinct points of analysis correctly identified. Yes, a diagram is likely to be used in support of your analysis. 1 diagram probably yes, 2 possibly, it's up to you. At least 2 distinct points of evaluation, again supported by evidence. Crucial thing, the examiners are encouraged to give a level score for each paragraph, KAA evaluation, so separate out your paragraphs with lots of lines in between. If you hit level 4 for knowledge application analysis twice, you'll get level 4. For level 4, you need to develop 4 or more chains of reasoning, at least 4, possibly more, depends how you write. And there should definitely be some application and evidence in there. If you don't meet all aspects of the question, sometimes they talk about profits and employment. Sometimes they talk about costs and revenues. You've got to meet all aspects of the question. If the question states, with reference to an industry of your choice or an economy of your choice, if you talk in terms of economic theory with no application, you will not get to the top level on the mark scheme. So you must apply using your knowledge, and you must, if you have time, well, you have to produce a brief, final, reasoned comment or conclusion to reach the top marks for evaluation. In that conclusion, try to say something fresh. On our YouTube channel, we've got probably now 10, 15, something like 20 essay plans where I try to give you a feel and a flavour for what I would put in a conclusion. So check out our essay plan videos on YouTube. Here are the grade boundaries for 2018 for Edexcel across the entire paper. UMS is at a 335, so it's 117.5 on paper 1, 117.5 on paper 2, and 100 on your synoptic paper 3, which is in the first week of June after half term. 78% last year would have got you an A star, 70% gets you an A, 61% gets you a B, and so on. Takeaway points, massively important points. Build depth of analysis through diagrams, but make sure diagrams are integrated into your discussion. Introductions are not needed in a 30-minute essay. Please do not waste time writing an introduction. It really is, especially if you've come to the end of the exam and you're under the time stress and duress already. So what is my big advice for paper 1? Depth is more important than breadth, for sure. Building longer, chunkier chains of reasoning is way better. So 2 points only ever needed. It's impossible to get to level 4 analysis without application. You've got to use the data. Practice your quantitative skills. Know your formulae. Show workings to get some marks. Always use correct units. Use calculations from data, particularly in the data response. So go back to the extracts. I think there'll be more charts and tables this year. If you finish a data response having not used one of the charts or the tables or the extracts, then you have a problem. They are there for a reason. Diagrams need to be properly understood, not just dumped and thrown onto a page. Need to be integrated into the written analysis. The best answers, the top answers, combine good theory with an ability to apply those ideas to new, sometimes unfamiliar scenarios. But typically they're not unfamiliar. You know, they're in the news, they're kind of contemporary, and they're kind of interesting scenarios. A lot of students throw in generic evaluation. You know, the idea of opportunity cost and time lags and however, blah, 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 that is so 2010. That's not going to get you a good level mark on evaluation. You've got to really challenge and criticise assumptions and put in different perspectives beyond time lags and opportunity cost. Actually, evaluation needs to be as well developed in the longer answers, the 25 markers, as the original KA paragraph. Evaluation is best when it's used throughout the answer. So you go KA, eval, KA, eval, conclusion in the 25 mark essay. Essentially, it's a 5-paragraph answer plus a diagram or two. That's the way to think about this paper. Go for it in the last few days before the exam, and good luck.